This morning, we are tracking breaking news. A shooting in Hilliard sent a man to the hospital. This morning, the search is still on for the suspect. We are seeing more criticism this morning aimed at Spokane Valley Representative Matt Shea. And this time it's coming from Spokane and Spokane Valley leaders. Democratic candidates have a little more than 1 week to meet the requirements for the third debate. Governor Jay Inslee says he is one step closer to getting into that next round. This morning, we want your take. Head to the new KREM 2 mobile app to vote in our live poll now. Studies show more kids are being bullied online. What experts say you should do to protect your kids. Yesterday, we told you about a woman pregnant with triplets and had no idea until they were born. This morning, we are taking a closer look at surprise pregnancies and how they may be more common than we think. 5 a.m. now on our Tuesday morning. Thanks so much for being with us here on KREM 2 Morning News. We'll take a look at this. The Mariners are on a winning streak. Part of that is thanks to catcher Tom Murphy. He hit 2 home runs last night. This is a quick clip of his first hit, which means he has hit 15 homers in 53 games. Last night, the Mariners won 9-3 over the Rays.
More than I would have been able to do. 15 more.
Right? I'm going to go see them in a couple weeks. Hopefully they can keep that streak going.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks so much for being with us here on KREM 2 Morning News. I'm Jen York.
And I'm Evan Irani. It is 5:01 on our Tuesday.
And we're making it. We don't have our coffee yet, but...
No, but... Brandon's back.
He's
and that
in
means
studio.
he already made it, which that's a lot better than what we had earlier. The last week I've been making it at like 7:30.
It's been a little rough start for Monday. We fall apart when our friends here in the studio behind the scenes aren't holding us together.
We're happy to have Brandon back.
Yes, we are. And we're happy it's Tuesday. It's another beautiful day across the inland Northwest.
That's right. A hot one, too. 90s are in the forecast almost across the board this afternoon. Spokane expected to make it to 92 degrees. That's cooler than most parts of central Washington, and really that's one of the cooler spots on the map. So that's important to recognize that really regardless of where you are today, you're probably going to be in the 90s this afternoon. Right around about 3 and 4 p.m. is when we look to just be hitting that range. A couple clouds are going to be building toward the evening hours. Tomorrow going to be partly cloudy for most of the day, but tomorrow night, your Wednesday night, we see the arrival of a cold front. What that cold front is going to signal is the start of some rain around the region. Take a look at the spots that are going to be hit most hard. We've got 0.2 of an inch up through North Idaho from Sandpoint all the way down through St. Mary's. Lewiston, 0.2 of an inch. Same situation over toward Moses Lake and Yakima, where they could see 0.3 of an inch. But notice that Spokane still hanging out at nothing on here. That means we will likely see some sort of precipitation, maybe a drizzle, trace amounts of rain, but we likely won't make it anywhere above 0.1 of an inch. We'll probably remain right below that. So it's important to keep in mind that although we've been enjoying this very warm weather for the last several days, and really the last week or so, it's been 10 days since any measurable rain or any trace amounts. We're going to see some rain tomorrow night into Thursday. We'll take a look at Future Tracker coming up in just a bit to see exactly where to expect it in the most amount, and details on that are coming up, Jen.
All right, Evan, thank you. 5:03 now. This morning, Spokane police are searching for a suspect wanted for a shooting in Hilliard. It happened last night next to a skate park on North Regal Street. Authorities say a man suffered multiple gunshot wounds. Medics took him to the hospital in serious condition. Officers searched that neighborhood but were not able to locate the suspect. They say K-9 officers were unable to find the suspect as well. Police have not said what may have led up to that shooting.
Any threat to the public?
Anytime we've got unknown motivation and a shooter still outstanding, I certainly can't say that there's no threat to the public, so yes.
We will keep you updated as new details come in. Make sure to check our website at krem.com or the new KREM 2 mobile app. We are seeing some more criticism this morning aimed at Spokane Valley Representative Matt Shea. This time, many are calling outright for his resignation. Last week, the Guardian newspaper reported he has ties with a group that trains young men in Christian warfare. KREM 2's Casey Decker reached out to potential political leaders in Spokane and Spokane Valley. He asked for their take on the situation.
Of the 16 candidates, 7 have responded. Mayoral candidate Ben Stuckert said, "I call on every person running for office in our region to denounce Matt Shea, his threats of violence and intimidation, and ask for his immediate resignation." His opponent Nadine Woodward said, "I strongly condemn Shea's divisive and extreme rhetoric and ideology. I call on his constituents to make their decision about what values they want represented in Olympia." Council President candidate Cindy Wendell said, "We cannot be silent in the wake of extremist speech. We need to acknowledge the fear this instills in many of our friends and neighbors. I condemn the hurtful and radical rhetoric of Representative Matt Shea." Her opponent Breanne Begg said, "Shea's words demonstrate that he has pledged his allegiance and service to something other than our constitutionally formed government and community." Of the 16 candidates, 4 so far have said Shea needs to resign. Stuckert, Beggs, and sitting council members Karen Stratton and Lori Kinnear, both running for re-election. Now, in addition to those candidates, many other organizations and people have said Shea must step down. They include the Spokane Police Guild, Sheriff Ozzie Knezevich, and the Spokane NAACP.
I believe that what we're seeing, and I know what we're standing for as the NAACP, is that that's enough. We all need to be accountable, and especially those holding positional authority need even more accountability, not less.
Between the two cities, 5 candidates are actually endorsed by Matt Shea on his website. Spokane Council candidates Tim Benn and Tony Keep, and Valley Council candidates Michelle Rasmussen, Arn Woodard, and Bo Tucker. None of those candidates responded to our request for comment. Though, Tony Keep actually posted Shea's endorsement on his own Facebook page just a few weeks ago.
That was Casey Decker reporting. As for what Matt Shea has to say about all of this, he posted a note to his supporters on Facebook. He thanked them for standing by him and later posted a Bible quote. Spokane County could have more commissioners soon. A new state law requires counties with a population of more than 400,000 people to increase the number of elected county commissioners from 3 to 5. That means Spokane County would need to add 2 more positions and 2 more districts. Washington State and Spokane County officials have challenged that legislation, but a Superior Court judge ruled against their lawsuit. The county commissioner says they plan to take it to the Supreme Court. In Stevens County, the reservation field fire is fully contained. It burned about 28 acres a few miles southwest of Springdale. It started on Sunday and briefly prompted level 1 evacuations. Those notices have since been lifted. There is no word yet on what caused that fire. While the Williams Flats fire is still burning, look at the difference a week and a half makes. On the left is what it looked like from the Whitestone Fire Lookout about 10 days ago. On the right is this week. That fire sparked more than 2 weeks ago. And at last check, the Williams Flats fire is a little more than 44,000 acres and 87% contained. Some level 1 evacuations remain in place. Officials say a lightning strike sparked that fire earlier this month. NASA captured this eerie and rare image of a fire cloud above the Williams Flats fire in Ferry County. Fire clouds are caused when fires loft enough heat and moisture into the atmosphere and produce thunderstorms. Scientists describe them as large chimneys transporting large amounts of smoke into the lower stratosphere. There are very few photos of fire clouds, so NASA scientists feel lucky to have captured this one, especially one taken from the sky. A new Pullman Elementary School will be opening this year. According to the district, the Kamiak Elementary School will help reduce overcrowding in classrooms and will bring in about 350 students. Classrooms feature new technology like tablets for teachers, new security systems that have quick lockdown capabilities as well. The first day of class is 1 week from today. Well, that is your Morning Rush block. Today's big headlines from here in the Inland Northwest. You can let us know what's happening in your neighborhood as well. Just head to the KREM 2 Facebook page and send us a message. Coming up on 509 now. The next Democratic debate is in September. Next month, candidates are doing what they can qualify for that third debate. They have until Wednesday next week to reach polling and fundraising thresholds set by the Democratic National Committee. Candidates must receive at least 2% support in at least 4 polls. Each poll must be sponsored by an approved organization. Candidates must also have 130,000 unique donors. They must also have 400 donors in at least 20 states. KREM 2's Dana Marie McNichol is in studio now to break down who has met the threshold so far and to tell us where Governor Jay Inslee stands. Good morning.
Good morning, Jen. So there are currently 9 candidates that have met all of the requirements and have qualified for the third round of Democratic debates on September 12th and 13th. But before I get into the candidates, I want you to take out your phones, go to the new KREM 2 app, and vote this morning. What do you think? Should Washington Governor Jay Inslee still be in the 2020 presidential election race? You can vote all morning long. We'll be giving you updates with the poll every half an hour. So right now, the candidates that have qualified, including former Vice President Joe Biden, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, and Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren. Additionally, there are now 12 Democrats who say they have met the fundraising threshold. As we mentioned before, candidates have until next Wednesday to meet the standards. Washington Governor Jay Inslee says he's closing in on the requirements. He tweeted last night in celebration that he met the requirement of receiving 130,000 donations to his campaign, which qualifies him for that threshold. Inslee still has to meet other requirements. Speaking on Democratic candidates for Democratic presidential candidate Elizabeth Warren will be in Seattle this weekend. The Massachusetts senator made headlines earlier this year for her proposal to break up the biggest U.S. technology companies, including Google and Amazon. The town hall is at the WAMU Theater and doors open at 12:15 p.m. The event begins at 2:15. And we'll be keeping you updated as more candidates qualify for the debate, but for right now, make sure to vote in our live poll this morning. We'll be checking in with those results in about a half an hour. Do you think Governor Jay Inslee should be moving on in those debates? But for right now, we'll send it back to you, Jen.
All right, Dana Marie, thank you so much. It is 5:11 now. Well, time for In Other News, stories to get your brain going before the coffee kicks in. New federal recommendations on thermostat settings have sparked quite the debate on social media. In the summer months, people are likely to crank up the AC, but new federal guidelines show you may want to warm up a little to save money. New recommendations say you should set the thermostat at 78 degrees when you are home, 85 when you are away, and 82 when you're sleeping. Most people online with AC say there is no way they are cranking the air down this summer. Researchers discovered hackers have a good chance of discovering your password just by the sound you make when you type it. This is from a study from Southern Methodist University. It found hackers can use a smartphone placed near a computer to intercept sound waves produced when typing on a keyboard. They say typing in a noisy coffee shop did not make a difference. According to researchers, cell phone companies may have to change the way the phone's sensor captures that sound to ensure privacy. A new survey shows people are actually addicted to their smartphones. Research from AO Mobile shows 7 in 10 people say they cannot stand to be away from their phones. 3 in 10 say they check their phones right after they wake up in the morning. Experts recommend cutting back on screen time and getting an old-fashioned alarm clock if you're looking to cut down on screen time, I'm guessing there.
See, I would say I do check my phone first thing in the morning, but I also love my time away from my phone when I'm, out doing things, in outdoors. I try to keep my phone off or at least away from me in my backpack and not really look at it. And so I think I have a fair mix. Where like when I'm at work and I'm in the zone and I'm on my day-to-day grind, I'm busy.
You have to, we check our emails right when we wake up. I'm the same way, Evan. I don't like having my phone with me. Sometimes I just kind of let it die and be like,
yeah, exactly. Oops.
We're out of touch. All right, can't get a hold of me. I don't know. And also the scary password detection. How are we going to protect our data?
I know.
That's the scariest thing about it.
It's tough. You can't go anywhere these days, right?
No. The machine is beating us.
There'll be robots giving you the news soon.
There was something that I saw the other day about how people's smart toasters, which I didn't know were things, were overnight accidentally turning to 400 degrees
and blowing
without anyone turning them on. I was like, this is terrifying.
They're after us.
I will never get a smart toaster. That's all I know.
Let's just go back to the dark ages.
Exactly, right? Like they said, an old-fashioned alarm clock.
Yeah.
All right, it is coming up on 5:14 now. Yesterday, we told you about a woman that was surprised to find out she was pregnant with triplets. And I got many of you asking, how is that possible? So after the break, what studies show about surprise pregnancies?
And coming up in the next half hour, Vietnam-era helicopters are being used to fight wildfires in Washington At 5:30, how DNR crews are working to restore a nearly 50-year-old firefighting fleet.